this is Tia and welcome to another video. Today in this video we are reading chapter 11, maybe chapter 12 in Hermitcraft Genesis, a fan-made story in my Clockwork Chronicles universe. Not a part of anything that the Hermits are doing, obviously, but yeah. Look, this part of the book right now, we're not in Hermitcraft, but the Hermits are mentioned quite a bit, and yeah. So it is important to keep in touch because I did want to do some backstory for the characters, but yeah. Backstory for the world and all that, but not necessarily important. You don't have to listen to this, but there are captions available. It probably is significant that you do listen to all of these, but some of them are more important than others, and yeah. This one, maybe not so much. Maybe not. We'll see. You would never know unless I told you. Chapter 11. Let's get right on it. A week had passed since the argument with her father. Kate still couldn't get his words out of her mind. Even when he attempted to apologize, giving her a book, as if that would fix everything. The book wasn't very good either. It had nothing to do with YouTubers, and nothing to do with anything she cared about. She trudged out of the front door of the school, taking a seat on the bench. A knot of anger nibbled at her heart as she stared down at the floor, her backpack at her feet. She wore a navy blue blouse embroidered with silver flowers along the front. She shook her head when she wasn't talking with the Hermits, reporting to Clara what things she'd noticed. She'd been forced to work on homework or read the batch of books her father had kept bringing to her. He'd tell her he'd gotten them from a bookstore about 10 miles away. Not that Kate cared. She didn't want to read. She wanted to practice. She wanted to explore, figuring out what was happening around town. Her only source of news about the outside world were Beverly and Gracie, who came home with her every other day to do homework together. What did your dad do this time to get you so grouchy? Beverly teased, startling Kate out of her thoughts. Thanks for waiting for us. No problem, Kate sighed, getting to her feet. Waiting for Jack today. You really have to? It's not like we don't know where it is, Beverly groaned. Nothing bad can possibly happen to such a nice girl as you. Dad makes the rules, Kate muttered. He's not the mayor of Blossom Meadows, last I checked, Beverly smirked. Come on, we'll be your escorts today. It'll be fun. I don't know. Kate tightened her grip on the backpack strap slung over her shoulder. One of my friends told me a story about getting ambushed on the way to school once. Ambushed? Grace's brows furrowed. By who? Anti-YouTuber group. They thought he had something to do with them. Did he? Beverly's eyes glowed. Kate shrugged, looking toward the path. Jack should be here by now. What's taking him so long? Beverly frowned. Why are you such a rule follower all of a sudden? Kate swallowed. That's already pretty upset at me. I don't want to make it worse. He'd caught her the day before practicing sword moves with an armor stand dummy that had Bard take away her wooden sword and the armor stand. Excuse me, that sentence was a little odd. She had watched as the cause member snapped the sword in half in front of her before tossing it into the bushes outside her window. She was grounded in her room for the rest of the day to read boring philosophy books her dad allowed her to borrow from his office as punishment, and to give her reason not to go into the library. I mean, philosophy books aren't necessarily boring. It's just sometimes if I have trouble falling asleep, I might read one. It's the same reason why I bought the whole Bronte Sisters collection. Yeah. They're long and, yeah. I haven't dug into that one yet, but that's not important for this, so ignore me. Sort of ignore me. Why was that such a big deal, anyway? If Beverly was right, there was nothing in there. Yet, she also knew Beverly wasn't much of an avid reader. She wouldn't catch something that might get Kate's attention. Was it worth the risk? Just to make sure. I'm sure you won't mind. Beverly looped her arm into Kate's. Besides, you won't be alone. Gracie and I won't let... Why is that a lowercase I? Gracie and I won't let anything happen to you. Right, Gracie? Yeah, Gracie nodded, her voice soft as ever. Kate could see a glimmer of concern in her friend's eyes. Then it's settled, Beverly proclaimed, grabbing Gracie as the three girls began to walk down the path together. Beverly shared her experience over the weekend visiting another nearby town. It was so fascinating to see how much food were on the shelves and the cookbooks. There were so many of them. Do either of you like to cook? I've never tried, Kate admitted. I've seen Mom spin up some pretty mean meals. Beverly's eyebrows raised. Same here. What's your favorite? Chicken dinner, baked potatoes and carrots. Kate shrugged. Mom makes amazing baked potatoes. My mom makes great beavers, too. Gracie pitched in. Beverly scrunched up her nose. Ew, who eats beetroots, too? You haven't tasted hers. Gracie shrugged. That does sound interesting, Kate encouraged. Jem likes to keep a garden nearby to gather plants to make food. Jem? Beverly lifted her head. Kate gulped. Just another friend. You have a lot of friends for someone who said she didn't. Gracie pointed out with a hint of a smile. I met a lot of people over the last few months, Kate pointed out. I got to hang out with my parents while my parents settled here. Fair enough, Beverly replied. So, how are you liking good old Blossom? I haven't had a chance to check the town, Kate admitted. I know I've been here a week, but Dad won't let me leave the house, and I... Don't worry about it, Beverly chuckled. I get it. We had a neighbor move in a year ago who was paranoid. A neighbor move in who... Wrong. Dingy. Who was paranoid that someone was following them. Turned out they were just imagining things. Right. Goosebumps skittered down her arms as Kate forced a nod. If you can do that, Gracie replied. Makes you do weird things. My dad let me borrow a book about that the other day, Kate perked up. From his library. Gracie smiled. Can I see it? Sure, Kate nodded, looking ahead to see the clearing appear. The house loomed above them as she opened the gate for her two friends. Can't stay long today, unfortunately. Beverly smiled weakly. Ay. So much smiling. Pulling out a piece of paper. We have a party tomorrow night, including a sleepover. Don't tell your dad. Her eyes sparkled. For your birthday, right? Grace said, I guess. Kate gasped. Your birthday's tomorrow? Actually, 2 days from now, but my grandparents could only come in tomorrow, so we're hosting it a bit last minute, Beverly said with a gleam in her eyes. You and Gracie are invited. I hope your dad will let you come. Me too, Kate nodded, taking the piece of paper. He's been very picky about what I do with my life lately. He can't keep you from your friends, can he? Beverly's eyes widened. He's in charge of this house. Gruff voice grunted. Kate tensed, turning to see Bard standing in a few feet. That's a wrong pronoun too. Kate tensed, turning to see Bard standing a few feet behind them. He noticeably didn't have a scar on his face, yet wore a long-sleeved black shirt under his uniform. Whatever he says goes. Wow. Yeah, that's supposed to reference earlier when you see the other guys. It's not that big a deal. But doesn't someone like Tony have the final say? Kate asked. Tell your father that and see what happens, the man snorted. No chance you'd go to the party in that case. Unease filled the girl. Thanks for the heads up. Get inside. He glared over at Beverly and Gracie. No visitors today. Go on home. Just wanted to make sure she got back here safe. Beverly beamed brightly as Kate closed the gate. I doubt a couple of girls like you could keep her safe. Bart snickered. Kate wished her friends a safe return home, waving them off, ignoring Bart's impatient mutterings before she bolted back into the house. She found her mother in the main room, a white canvas sitting on an easel. Where was Jack? Kate asked her mother, who was organizing her palette. Was your father? Lyra said simply. Don't let your father know you came back without him. It wasn't safe to just sit at the front door of the school the entire time either, Kate pointed out. Bev and Gracie walked me out. Her mother smiled. That was good of them. And Bev brought me this. Kate held out a piece of paper. It's an invitation to a party. Lyra took the piece of paper. Her eyebrows raised a moment as she took it, looked at it. Interesting. I'll have to talk to your father about this. Please let me go, Kate insisted. I haven't gotten a chance to see Blossom Meadows myself. The girls have been telling me how amazing it is. I want to see the sights, try the food, everything. Well, this party is at the town hall, her mother replied. Apparently, Beverly's father is quite popular. He wants to throw a fancy party for his daughter's 14th birthday. Great, Kate smiled. Go talk to him. I'll go up to my room to get my homework done. I'll do everything he says if it means I get to go. Lyra chuckled. You've been cooped up for a week. I think you've earned it. And what? Excuse me. Her father's voice came from upstairs. Kate tensed, looking up to see Robert and Jack standing side by side. Who walked you home? My friends, Caitlin said carefully. Nothing happened. Everything was fine. The man nodded, his expression not shifting. His wife spoke up. Beverly is inviting Kate to a fancy party to celebrate her 14th birthday. Fancy, you say? The man raised an eyebrow. Dresses and everything, Robert. Yeah, I don't think I need that tag right there. Dresses and everything. She's been cooped up for a week. It's a public party. She should be safe enough. Happy to be your chaperone, Jack added quickly. When is it? Her father asked. Tomorrow night, Lyra said. The next man pursed his lips. He'll think about it. Thank you, Kate jumped excitedly. I'll get all my homework done right now, just to prove that I'll be good. The man nodded as the girl climbed up the stairs. Kate could feel his eyes on her as she went into her room, closing the door behind her. She pulled out her communicator, ready to call her friends and tell them everything that had happened. She hesitated, looking out her window just as she caught a glint of a telescope lens within the bushes. A chill ran down her spine. Someone watching her? She blinked. The glint was gone. Whoever had been laughed. Or at least seemed to. She was almost as paranoid as her father seemed to be. She shook her head. Dr. Rainston had no idea where she was. The cause would make sure of that. Her father trusted Jack, Bart, and Leon to make sure no one came into or off the property without their knowledge. It was probably just one of them, making sure she got into her room. They'd tell her father that she'd done as she was told. Nice and responsible. Perfect daughter who wouldn't run off at the slightest whiff of trouble. She is very much known for running off like that. Chapter 12. Kate fidgeted with the navy blue dress Robert had picked out for her, looking down at her sleeves. They went down to her elbow, laced with a silver ribbon. Behind her, Lyra was tying her hair in an elaborate braid. You look stunning, her mother said gently, giving Kate a kiss on the forehead when she gave her a look over. Your father's downstairs waiting. Are you sure we'll be okay? Kate asked, glancing over at the evening sky as stars started to flicker to life through the window of her bedroom. "What if the Googlies come out?" Lyra chuckled. "I'm sure you'll be able to take care of them." "But I can't carry a sword or a gas blaster with me." Kate patted the pouch the mother had given her, tied her communicator. "There are more ways to deal with monsters than a sword or a bow," her mother said gently. Kate lowered her head. "Yeah, you're right." Liam likes to make that abundantly clear when he can, that we can and should sometimes have to use whatever is at hand. "I believe in you, Kate. Try not to worry about it tonight. Jack and Bard won't be far if we need them. You'll be safe." "I don't want to be safe," Kate admitted. "Not when I know my friends might be in trouble. Rhinestone hasn't made her move yet." Lyra replied. "That's good, right?" "Till it isn't," Kate pointed out. "I don't want to have fun when my friends get attacked in the middle of the night." "I'm sure they'll call you if they need you," Lyra said softly. "They know you care." Kate swallowed and nodded. "Okay, but Dad better not see my communicator and take it from me. I need it tonight." Lyra smiled. "Your father may be stubborn, but he isn't stupid." "You sure about that?" Kate whispered, glancing up into her mother's eyes. "Do what we can with what we're given," she replied. "Besides, last I recall, you wanted to go to this party." "I know, I'm just nervous, I guess," Kate sighed. "I know it's Beth's party, and I shouldn't be nervous, but everyone's going to be there. What if someone recognizes me? What if they try to cause trouble or try to take me? That's why Jack and Bard are your chaperones. You'll be safe with them." Kate's shoulders slumped as she went over to the door. She tightened her grip on her shoulder bag, making sure the communicator was secure before heading out with her mother. At her heels, she found her father waiting for her, with Jack and Bard beside him. The man stood tall, wearing a suit. "Leon has the house secure," Robert said calmly. "You'll be okay by yourself tonight, Lyra. I'll be back with Kate in an hour." "We'll see." Kate smirked, hiding her reaction with her hand. Her father took one hand, spotting her bag. "Are you sure you'll do that?" "You never know what'll happen," Kate replied. "Besides, if Jack and Bart get separated from me, I need some way to call for help if I need it." "You won't need that. Don't be silly." Her father shook his head, reaching for the bag. Kate flinched back, pulling her hand from her dad's grasp. "She does have a point," Jack said quickly. "Not everyone at Balsam Meadows is friendly, even if there isn't an anti-YouTuber campaign there. Maybe people who believe those rumors. Kate is just a teenager. Sometimes her emotions can and will get ahead of her." "They do not," Kate grumbled, hating the knowing smile on the man's face. "See, like it or not, she does care for those hermits," Jack warned. "If someone decides to talk bad about our friends, you expect her to just sit there and let it happen?" "Yes!" Robert snapped. "It's none of her business. She should leave well enough alone, just like them." "I won't cause trouble," Kate promised. "I just want to hang out with my friends, see what the town has to offer." Her father sighed. "Then we best be off." Kate said nothing throughout their journey to the town. 10 minutes felt like 10 hours before she saw the cozy, rosy pink houses and the shops of Blossom Meadows. It was nestled amongst 2 hills, trees lining either side of the town. There were picket fences lining some of the yards of the houses as Kate took it in. Which house was Beverly's? Gracie's. She saw a flood of figures walking down the street toward the heart of the town, where the town would be. Laid out amongst the lawn were tables, chairs, and lots of food, along with a burst of voices as they drew nearer. "We'll scout around," Jack said to her father. Autocorrect. Did sound funny. His voice barely loud enough for Kate to hear. "Make sure there's no trouble." "There shouldn't be," her father said defiantly. Kate shook her head as their 2 escorts disappeared amongst a crowd of people, many of them children. She recognized many of her peers from her classes among the masses. Some of them gave her a polite wave, which she obliged. I think I see Beverly by her father. Excuse me, I think I see Beverly by her father, Robert said dryly, grabbing Kate by her arm. They're at the front of the town hall. Kate nodded, letting her father pull her through the mass of people before they broke free. Sure enough, she found Beverly sitting at a table piled with presents, her face in a permanent grin, receiving and thanking people for their gifts. Gracie sat beside her quietly. Oh my goodness. Skimming through a book. She smiled. Only Gracie would be able to read in a book amidst the roar of a crowd. Bev! Grace! Kate pulled away from her father, waving at her friends. Katie! Beverly sprung out of her seat, lunging at Kate and pulling her into a hug. You made it! I had to do a bit of pleading to make it happen, but I'm here. Kate grinned, hugging her friend again. Happy early birthday! I believe this is for you, her father said behind her. Beverly pulled away, taking a wrapped package from his hands. Kate had just been delivered the book she'd asked Haley for from Jack that morning, so she decided to give one of them to her friend. Thank you, Beverly smiled, feeling the object inside. It's a book, isn't it? Hey, I think you'll like this one, Kate pointed out. It'll help you see what I meant. First day we met. Beverly's eyes shone. Hi, you got me there. Come on, let me show you the snack table, so that our parents can talk about you-know-what. And what is that exactly? Robert raised an eyebrow as Kate and Beverly began to pull her away. Birthday girl here was to have a sleepover tonight. She invited Kate to stay over at our place for the night. Beverly's father spoke, his voice fading thanks to the noise as Kate flinched. So shaving me there. I do not want to hear another shouting match. Kate giggled as Beverly wrapped an arm around her friend's shoulders. You won't have to worry about you for tonight, that's for sure, Beverly said happily. I've got you back. Yeah. Kate glanced around the area, spotting chairs, utensils, and plates that she could toss around if she needed to, before she shook her head. Why would someone want to try to get to her so out in the open? Maybe her father's anxiety was starting to rub off on her. This place is beautiful. It's home, Beverly beamed. I grew up here with Gracie. We used to play in these alleys over there before it got a bit too dangerous, she chuckled. There have been some creatures appearing more often lately. Monsters, Kate nodded. Zombies, skeletons, spiders, creepers, witches. She counted on her fingers. Well, there's a lot. I know how to take care of them. You do? Beverly's eyes widened. You're going to have to teach me. It's easier with a sword. Kate blushed, freeing herself from Beverly. If I can get my hands on some metal and sticks for the crafting table, it'll be good. Wow, Beverly tilted her head. I never thought you knew how to fight. I mainly learned to defend myself. Kate smiled weakly. Spotted Bard looking in the shadows, just out of audible distance. After what happened at Orchardwood, I wanted to be prepared. I don't blame you, Beverly nodded. Did you have to deal with monsters there too? Yeah, the police force were able to deal with them fine enough. That's good. Beverly stopped at a long table piled with sweets. What? We'll have to take a little cake a little later. Help yourself. Sure Dad'll allow that? I'm a birthday girl. If I tell you to do something, you can do it. You do it. Beverly arched her brow, smiling mischievously. She told me to jump off a cliff. Would I be expected to comply? Yep. Not that I'd want you to do that, of course. Kate nudged her with a giggle. You only do that in extreme emergencies. Beverly nodded, a perplexed expression on her face. Before she could say any more, her expression changed to confusion as Kate felt a tap on her shoulder. Excuse me. Is it all right if I borrow Caitlin from you? Kate turned, seeing a short woman in a long red gown, her red hair with a long braid, she wore a pink veil over her face. Kate could just about see her green eyes. Something about the woman looked familiar, but Kate couldn't place it. How do you know Kate? Beverly asked, putting her hands on her hips. She's a friend, someone said calmly. I have a message for her. Can't wait. Kate looked over her shoulder, seeing Bart still watching from a distance. She couldn't read his expression in the dim light, yet she saw movement. Slight shake of his head. Got chaperones tailing me, Kate said softly. That should be fine, the woman said with a nod, gesturing for the young teen to follow. Kate glanced over at Beverly. I'll be back before it's time for Kate. Beverly chuckled nervously. Be careful. I mean, if your dad has reason to be concerned, I think I can trust her, Kate replied. Beverly relaxed and smiled. Satisfied? Kate followed the woman away from the crowd to a quiet spot behind the town hall. The woman walked with purpose before she stopped. What's going on? The woman reached for a veil, pulling it up over her face, her fiery red hair. Kate stifled the gas, seeing the woman's face. It's Rose James. What are you doing here? I thought you went with Debbie. Shh, don't speak his name so loudly. Rose put a finger to her lips. Yours are still strong here. Sorry, but please tell me what's going on, Kate insisted. The woman smiled. I only stayed with them until I was certain they would be safe. No one will find them. Kate sighed in relief. Here, she scowled. There's still a Sam and Andrew to face those guys alone. Rose flinched. I'm sorry. I had to make sure these troopers were safe. I knew my nephew could handle himself. He did. Kate relented. Her save was false until further notice. Good. Rose smiled. I assume you're keeping in touch? Yeah. I have everybody's number. Kate said confidently. If you keep assuring me everything's fine. For now. Rose nodded. Has Julia said anything about what happened? She didn't seem happy about me leaving with Dad, Kate admitted. The hermits seem to think something big is coming. Something is. Rose frowned. Not sure they'll be ready for it. Do you want to borrow my communicator to call Clara? Kate reached for a pouch, pausing when the woman shook her head. I'll call her when I need to. Right now I feel it's safer for people to think I've disappeared. Hearing that I've made a call will make people suspicious. It was already bad enough. Kate swallowed. Far worse than here. Much worse. Rose sighed. One of the defectors found Viva's old plans for the mind control machine she used several years back, and now they're getting people to believe that Stampy is controlling my mind, making me do his bidding. Kate shuddered. You'd never do that. Rose shook her head. Can't be helped. Right now, I need you to get a message to Clara. Don't say it's from me. But how will she know to trust the information? Kate pressed. Tell her Esther visited you and requested you pass on the message. Do not tell her why, Rose warned. She'll find out soon enough. Hopefully without another attack from the defectors. Okay. Kate finished with her bag, strapped nervously. There's a sunset amongst a field of white tulips, Rose said calmly. Clouds are covering the sky as a drop of rain falls, staining the tulip red, one tulip red. Another drop falls, and another, each time staining another tulip until the entire field is stained red. Kate frowned. What does that mean? Think about it on your own. Please, get it to her by tonight. That exact message. Is it about Project Genesis? Kate's eyes widened. Rose's expression grew grim. Shivers ran down the girl's spine. It's urgent. She's aware of the danger. Julius can help her decode it, but all I need you to do is get it to her. I will, but... Kate bit her bottom lip. Why couldn't you have gone there yourself? Or sent a note? Too risky with the amount of moles around there. She shook her head. Hermit Fortress is being watched constantly. Yes, you may have gotten rid of the cameras, but they are not safe. So maybe I should know, Kate. Rose grabbed Kate by the arm before she could slip away. If you go there now, you'll only put them in more danger. Rhinestone is coming for you. She needs you for the next part of her plan. Stay near your protectors at all costs until I come back to find you, okay? Where will you go? How can I find you again if I need you? Kay looked up at the woman. What if Sam and Liam need you? She closed her eyes and sighed. I'm sorry. Things have been changing, and everyone is at risk, not just YouTubers. I need you to be here for Blossom Meadows. If Rhinestone decides to attack the town, they need people who can defend it. Kay nodded. I'll do that. If you promise to keep an eye on my friends. And if I need to go, I'll tell you. She finished with a smile. I promise. Kay lowered her gaze from the woman for a moment before tackling into her hug. The woman took a sharp breath before returning the embrace. This is from Sam and Liam, demanding you come back safe. Did I tell you that? She chuckled, pulling away. No, but I know you'd want you to know. They'd want you to know. The girl grinned. Be careful, Caitlin. Rose cautioned, pulling down her veil again before giving the girl a small wave. I'll be off, but I'll return soon. Hopefully my team can stop Rhinestone before she can do any harm. I hope so too, Kate nodded. Good luck. Rose smiled before disappearing into the shadows. Kate stood alone beside the building for a long moment before she heard footsteps behind her. She turned to see Bard. A scowl plastered on his face. Who was that? A friend. Kate straightened. The man narrowed his eyes. Chaperone, I feel like I should know who you were hanging out with. You could have been in serious danger. It's fine. Kate shrugged, walking back toward the hum of the party. Just need to pass the message along. Nothing too serious. The man huffed. You shouldn't keep secrets from us. Some secrets are better kept. Kate raised an eyebrow. Kate, there you are. She heard Jack's voice before he appeared from the mass of people. You okay? She's snooping with a friend. Bard grumbled, glaring at the girl. You wouldn't understand. Kate shook her head, glancing at Jack. It was urgent, but not for your ears to hear. Jack nodded. Very well. I hope you'll take care of it. I will. Kate smiled, finding Beverly over by the 3-tiered cake, lined with red roses. An uneasy feeling filled her as she looked at the cake, noticing one of the roses had stained the white flaunted red. Rose's warning reverberated. I don't know if that's right. Ah! In her mind, as she shuddered. Her friends were in serious danger. She needed to talk to Clara as soon as she could. And alas, this will be it for this episode. Chapter 11 and Chapter 12 have been read, and we'll be moving on to Chapter 13 and maybe Chapter 14 next week. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. This one wasn't necessarily important, but, I mean, it is kind of important. You never know. You never know when you're going to find in stories. In context. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Whenever that might be. Goodbye.